I'm feeling really full and quite sick looking at it.
If somebody is struggling to gain weight, eating half a portion isn't the way forward.
My goal by the end of the week is to finish one of our meals, maybe 2.
As day 2 dawns, Danni and Vicki are already feeling the effects of swapping diets.
Normally at home, if I was feeling hungry, I would just go to the fridge, get something out, but because I can't do that here, I'm having to sort of get used to the feeling of hunger.
I know there's going to be a lot of cakes and toast and that involved this morning, which isn't my favourite, so that should be interesting to see how that goes for me.
You're right, Vicki, there is more cake. Breakfast today is 3 slices of it and a yoghurt, while Danni will be having a cheese and ham toastie.
Is it a whole one?
No, I'm afraid not.
Oh.
This morning I would probably only have half of that with no crust either.
OK. My goodness, that is sweet.
And this is really sweet.
Yeah, but it's a different sort of sweetness.
It makes me feel sick.
You're struggling, aren't you?
I could never ever eat cake for breakfast.
Do not.
Seeing Vicki struggle with what she'd normally eat without thinking is an eye-opener for Danni.
Sorry. It just hits home that it clearly isn't normal.
It's like the most disgusting breakfast I've ever had in my life.
Well, it's about to get worse. After breakfast, the girls take a walk in the woods, but for Supersize Danni, this isn't a simple stroll.
Something that I do sometimes is I take myself away somewhere quiet, usually when I'm walking my dog, and I will eat something where no one else can see me doing it, basically.
Danni's secret snack is a family-sized tube of crisps and a bag of mini chocolate bars.
Tell me how all this sort of thing started.
I've done this for years, years and years and years.
And your mum and that had no idea?
Not really, no.
Why is it that you hide it from them?
Because I'm embarrassed, I guess. Whether it's, you know, filling some sort of void in me, I don't know, but the feeling of taste and then having a full stomach afterwards makes me
happy,
calmer, comforted.
The secret eating is definitely going to be your biggest battle. What you really need to remember and just keep telling yourself this is food that's supposed to be shared.
Yeah, that's really good advice, actually.
I think that was really hard for Danni to open up today, and I'm glad she did. Hopefully when everybody else finds out, it'll really hit home what she's doing, and she really has just got to be tough with herself and stop.
Both Danni and Vicki in our feeding clinic have issues with food, but they're not alone. Over the series, we're following 3 women with different eating disorders on a course designed to help them develop a healthier relationship with food and their bodies, overseen by Dr. Helena Fox and led by dietitian Ursula Philpot. 32-year-old Meena Krishnan suffers with bulimia, 34-year-old Emma Paul with anorexia, and 19-year-old Erin Ruddick has anorexia with a binge purge subtype. Last week, Ursula encouraged them to confront their low self-esteem and negative body image by taking them clothes shopping.
You need some jewellery around your neck, I think.
I need a great big jumper.
Emma struggled with how she looked, and the day brings bigger issues to the surface for Erin.
I just think it's made me realise how bad I really am. And I think I've been in complete denial about the extent.
Later that evening, Erin takes a turn for the worse and is taken to hospital.
I had my dinner, but afterwards I just kept eating and didn't stop when I got to the hotel room. Like, had quite a bit of a binge. I felt quite weak. My hands turned blue and spasmed a bit. I felt kind of outside of myself.
Earlier in the series, Erin fainted due to her potassium levels dropping too low. Potassium is essential for heart, muscular and digestive function. Regular binging and purging causes potassium levels to drop very low, and this can lead to feelings of weakness, cramping in the muscles and fainting.
My potassium levels were dangerous, so they decided to keep me in overnight.
This may seem like a major setback for Erin, but during their recovery, eating disorder sufferers can often get worse before they get better.
Moving away from the focus on bodily symptoms onto psychological symptoms can actually feel very distressing, but it can in fact be a healthy way forward. It heralds an awareness of what the emotional trigger is and perhaps the beginning of an ability to be able to talk about it rather than take it out on one's body.
For the next few days, Erin's physical and mental condition is monitored, and it's decided she's too unwell to travel down to London for the remainder of the course.
Erin appeared to be coping really well with the sessions. However, as time went on, I began to realise, as did Erin, that she was a lot more unwell than she wanted to admit. Facing up to the realities of an eating disorder is a really important step on the road to recovery. She'll now be able to go on and get the more intensive support that she needs.
Today, Mina and Emma are meeting up with dietitian Ursula to address the low self-esteem that people with eating disorders often suffer from.
This week, I'd like Emma and Mina to try and reconnect with their bodies and enjoy the pleasure they can get from treating themselves. So I've invited them here to enjoy a day of relaxation at the spa.
People with eating disorders often punish their bodies, so a visit to a spa is seen as a luxury which they don't consider they deserve.
It's something I haven't done, so I don't pamper myself, so it's going to be quite a treat, but also nervous. I don't fancy having to strip off and for people to see me.
A visit to the spa might be particularly challenging for sufferers of eating disorders.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
They're not used to experiencing their bodies as instruments of pleasure. They will be very anxious about revealing their bodies, about being touched, and they're worrying about their shape and their weight and their appearance.
I don't like how I look. A bit shy and embarrassed about them seeing my protruding bones.
How does it feel?
It's very, very nice.
For Mina, with bulimia, a visit to the spa is also a new experience and the kind of treat she'd never normally allow herself to have.
I don't know that I feel that I don't deserve to do something nice for my body. It's more that I just don't see the need or the point. When people say, don't you treat yourself by having some chocolate, to me that's not a treat, but doing something like this is a bit of a treat. And for another thing, it's something I never ever do, so it's a bit interesting.
Both Mina and Emma are managing to overcome their anxiety about pampering their bodies.
Hello. I enjoyed today. The treatments was lovely. The lady did it very nicely and she was very friendly and she made me feel comfortable and relaxed.
Emma is somebody who punishes her body and is quite ashamed of her body. So today was really quite a breakthrough for her. She was able to relax, she was able to treat herself and she was able to tolerate doing that.
How does it feel, Emma?
It feels soft, and now I'm wrapped up in plastic.
I thought today was pretty good fun. It's not the sort of thing I usually do, and I was a bit embarrassed quite a lot of the time, but it was really nice seeing Emma enjoying herself so much.
Being in the spa most of the day has meant that Mina has been quite distracted from thoughts about binging and purging, so that's been a good thing.
I do agree that it's good to treat yourself with something that's not related to food or exercise.
Emma and Mina join Ursula for lunch to discuss their progress so far and the impact that Erin being hospitalised and leaving the group has had on them.
I definitely miss having her here. Shows that she's been playing quite a significant role in the group because I've certainly noticed her absence.
Yeah.
I hope Erin realises quite how ill she is. It was a bit of a wake-up call for her. I just hope that actually translates into action rather than just carrying on as before.
After 7 weeks, Emma's had a major breakthrough. To help cope with her eating disorder, she'd given it a name, Ed. But she now realises she needs to silence this inner critic and confront her true emotions.
Not labelling it as the two different sections now. It's me got to own up to it and accept it and take these things on board.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore. As of yesterday, I made a promise that I was not going to say
Ed thinks this or feels
anymore.
this.
So that word is no longer going to be said.
Erin not being here has been quite a wake-up call for Emma. She's realised how entrenched her eating disorder is, how ill she is, and also what she needs to do to get better. She's decided this week that she's no longer going to use Ed as her alter ego. She's actually going to incorporate that part back into Emma and express negative emotions as Emma. I think both girls got a lot out of today. Both were able to relax and to sort of reflect on leisure as an activity, not just something that's a rare treat.
Next week, Emma and Mina meet Ursula for the final time to reflect on their progress over the past 8 weeks of the course.
The first time I was with you, you ate nothing. Literally nothing.
So yeah, 2 months ago I would have just given up on this because it's gone cold.
If you've been affected by any of the issues raised in the show, go to our website, channel4.com/Supersize v Superskinny. Back in the feeding clinic, our diet swappers are looking back over some photos to try and pinpoint where their issues with food began.
This one, I was about 5 and we moved to Texas.
Yep.
I think I was about 12 in that picture.
That's a lot of weight you've put on.
Yeah. I was probably about 15 in that picture, so we'd only just moved back. I remember that skirt was a size 18, so yeah, I was a big girl even then.
At what point through this did you start your secret eating?
If I'm honest, it was somewhere between there and there.
That young?
Yeah.
It's followed you all your life,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah. That's obviously my daughter Katie. Hadn't really lost the baby weight then. 2 years ago, that was myself with Christopher. I was probably my absolute biggest there.
It seems like since you've met your husband and you've had the kids, you've totally ignored your weight.
I kind of just spread myself thinner and thinner and looked after them so much more that I didn't really care about myself because I guess I wasn't that important in my head.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Now it's Vicky's turn to look back over her life.
This is around 7 or 8 and as you can tell I'm obviously enjoying my food because it's all down my jumper. This is me at about 11 years old. I ate a lot then and never seemed to gain any weight. This, when I was 16, I was a size 8 there and I was maybe getting a bit bigger.
Did you leave portions then?
Never, and I would snack and I'd eat whatever I wanted. This is round about 18, my little sister here. Started working in security by this point.
Right.
So I was dealing with the funny shifts and my whole eating habits had changed. My 21st there, I was actually pregnant at the time, but I didn't know.
Were you happy?
Yeah, I was really happy with that. And this was, unfortunately, took into hospital for an ectopic pregnancy. After I came out of hospital, I think that's something that I've just noticed now. A lot of the weight came off, I wasn't eating as much and just feeling really depressed.
You shouldn't blame yourself for being like this because people go through things differently. Yeah. You know, I go through emotional turmoil and stuff a cake in my mouth. You go through emotional turmoil and steer away from food as much as you can.
Yeah. When I'm feeling down and upset, I definitely need to try and talk to people a bit more and not just cut out food completely and think about food and that I do actually need to eat instead of thinking that I'm fine without it.
Coming up, Danni sees how her future could be if she continues overeating.
Danni, you must make your health the most important priority.
And Vicki gets a reality check about her super skinny diet.
I don't want to end up like that.